This is the Daily Tip from Backyard presented by BetMGM. If you still have that tweet, Chelsea, I would love to see it. Let's bring in Shea now. We're going to do our baseball MVP draft with the season starting tomorrow. Doesn't matter what league. You can go American League. You can go Senior Circuit. Doesn't matter. And we're going to pick our favorites for MVP based on value and who we'd like to take home the honor. So, Chelsea, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, I think in the American League, you've got to go with Shohei. It's the best story. Shohei Ohtani continues to be the best story in sports. And we talk about these type of awards. They're storyline based. Writers want to vote for the best story. And Shohei Ohtani, I know there's injury concerns, and I know that it's going to be hard to replicate what he did last season. But people are saying, oh, well, he's kind of like Babe Ruth. No, he's better than Babe Ruth. Shohei's, on a different planet because looking at the way that he pitches, the strikeouts that he piles up, and oh, by the way, he hit over 40 home runs, I believe, last season. So you need those things. You kind of need home runs. You need to hit for a decent average. And if you're a pitcher, which Shohei is it too, you need to have a decent ERA. So best storyline in the American League, I'll go with Ohtani and the chalk.
I am Blue Jays this season. I have a future on the Blue Jays at 11-1, so I am on Vladdy Jr. at 5-1. I think he's in for a monster season. He's a guy who has a legitimate shot at winning the Triple Crown. I know how difficult that is to do, but I'm saying he certainly has the talent to do that. That lineup is loaded. They have very good pitching. Blue Jays are going to win a lot of games. That will help as well. And if you've seen the pictures of him last year versus this year, he's put on the extra work. He's slimmed down. He's ready to go. I love Vladdy Jr. at 5-1. Who you got, Shea?
Well, I was going to take Vladdy Jr. I should have known that pick would not be available. So that was kind of silly of me. I'm going to go with a little bit of a long shot, and then I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to take Jose Ramirez at 25-1. He's a guy who really should have been in the conversation for this award last year. Really every year should be in the conversation for this award. There was just a graphic on MLB's Twitter that was posted about who could possibly win the American League MVP. Jose Ramirez was not included in that graphic. He made sure to quote tweet it with an emoji displaying his disgust at not being included in that graphic. I think he's a man on a mission. The thing that's going to hurt him most is he plays for Cleveland. Like, that's tough. But, I think this is a guy who really is probably the best third baseman in baseball. Nobody talks about him, and I think he's got a chance to win the MVP this year at 25-1. I really, really like it. So that's our first three picks. Chelsa with the chalk and Shohei, Jenks with the chalk and Vladdy. I took a bit of a long shot on Jose Ramirez, and now I will go to the National League, where I like another long shot, Tyler O'Neill at 35-1. People, I think, look at what he did last year, which was admittedly incredible. A 5-WAR season by Fangraphs, a great batting average, a lot of home runs, big power guy, 145 weighted runs created plus, if you care about that stuff. Like an incredible elite bat season. They think he can't replicate it because if you look at the short season, the 60-game season in 2020, he had just like a 173 batting average. He really was not good at the plate. Peripherals, batting average on balls in play especially, suggests that was a huge anomaly. If you go back to 2019, there's actually a really good chance O'Neill could be better in 2022 than he was in 2021. Some of the projections even agree with that. I think the 35-1 odds, you're getting incredible value on a player who could really not just replicate, but actually improve upon what was an already elite season.
Yeah, next up for me, I'm going to go with a longer shot play here in Marcus Simeon. I was looking at the MVP awards over the years, and you really have to have some kind of pop, some kind of home run threat in the lineup. Because looking at the past winners, usually those guys have around 40 home runs, maybe 35 on the low end. But Marcus Simeon hit 45 home runs last season. This is a guy that a lot of people aren't really talking about, but also has some protection in the lineup for the Blue Jays. And he's he's with the Rangers now. I need to clarify that. But he was with the Blue Jays last year and coming off a great season. And the odds are long. So I think I'm going to take a long shot on Marcus Simeon at plus 5,000 to win the MVP.
All right, let me take a quick look here. I keep going back and forth here. I think I might take a bit of a flyer on Matt Olson at 25-1. He's obviously going to the defending champions and replacing Freddie Freeman. He plays great defense, and he's a young guy who had a very nice year last year, can absolutely rake. And I think being in that lineup where he'll be counted on to take Freeman's place, and you're not going to do that, but I think this is going to work out well. I love that the Braves brought him in, and I love the value at 25-1. I think this is a guy who could surprise us this season, so I will take him and hope for some value there.
I'm going to cheat just before. I want to offer a third option to the listeners, somebody to keep an eye on. I couldn't do it in the draft because it's too much of a long shot. Matt Chapman sitting at 100-1, if you like Toronto at all, is insane. Like, this is a guy who in 2019 finished 6th in voting for this award. You look at his peripherals last year and they're a little bit down, but he spent the entire season basically rehabbing a hip surgery. He's finally healthy. He's going to play on what's ostensibly the best team in the American League. I think 100-1 odds on Matt Chapman is nuts. I would automatically bet that. Like, you're probably not going to win, but the value there is immense.
Well, and also now he's not playing for the A's. He's playing in Toronto, which is much more hitter friendly. The A's ballpark is not especially conducive to home runs. So Toronto, much easier to hit home runs. So he might have even better numbers.